All right, here is Charlene. Charlene, Arsenal 2, Liverpool 2. A very tough game for both teams. Do you think it would have been a very different game if your players weren't injured or didn't go off injured in the game?
Absolutely. I think the way the game kicked off, we were by far the better side. We started off really strong. I feel like in the second half, the thing that let us down is the fact that, Gabriel, for example, as soon as he went off, we saw the game completely change. So had we have kept Gabriel on and kept on Timber, it would have been a completely different game.
I actually agree with that. You saw Gabriel go off with an injury. Timber obviously looked like he was still feeling the effects of the injury as well. Do you think that those two injuries, obviously Saliba coming back, do you think that could really hamper you in the coming weeks?
If I'm honest, I am highly, highly concerned. When I saw Gabriel go down, I literally wanted to cry because we've been struck with so many injuries. It's so frustrating. It's just back to back, one after the other, that our players are getting injured. We've got some tough fixtures coming up as well. We've got Newcastle, as well as our Champions League game and our cup games as well. So I feel like it's going to have a detrimental effect on us, if I'm being completely honest. The fact that we may have to be bringing back players earlier than we may have planned to because we just don't have enough squad depth is concerning as well. So, my concern is throughout the season, is this just going to be a reoccurring problem of players sort of, not getting the right time to recover properly from their injuries, being rushed back in and, running the risk of being re-injured?
I hear it. We've gone through this a few times as well, and it's horrible when it happens. You look at the landscape of the league now, everyone I spoke to from an Arsenal standpoint said you cannot go 7 points behind Liverpool. You're currently 5 points off the top of the league, but it's not Liverpool, it's Man City you're trailing. Now, we've both been here before, trailing Man City at different points this season. Do you still think, though, looking at Man City and the fact that they don't really look like they've kicked on another gear, do you think that the title race is still wide open?
Do you know, it is so early on in the season, so I don't want to rule us out completely, but I do have major concerns in the fact that, we have got so many injuries that just keep coming. I do also have concerns with our discipline as well, because that's obviously another issue that we are faced with, but, that's in our control. The injuries are out of our control. The discipline is something that we need to make sure that we instill and implement in our gameplay, ensuring that we're not getting these silly red cards. Today was a prime example, obviously missing Saliba. In terms of the title race, I just feel like we may need to bring in some more players in January. Otherwise, it's going to be a very long, difficult season for us. So we definitely need to bring in some more players to accommodate for these injuries that we're faced with. And I don't want to rule us out completely. Yes, we know what Man City are all about. Yes, we see what Liverpool's doing, but let's not forget that we are Arsenal. And what you saw in that first half of today's game shows you the quality that we have in our team. If we can have, I'll be honest, if we have a fully fit team throughout the remainder of this season, we can win the league, But we haven't got a fully fit team and we're faced with all these injuries. So it's quite early to say how it's going to pan out.
I hear you. I look at Liverpool's team and I think we need to make a few additions as well. Looking at Liverpool today, though, and the way we played, especially first half, really poor, stepped up in the second half. I still don't think we were great, though. Do you look at Liverpool and think that they're just missing something at the moment? When we've played against Chelsea in periods, we looked a little off. Lee mentioned in a previous interview in other games. Do you look at this Liverpool team and think that they can actually go all the way this season, or do you think we're slightly short in a few areas?
I feel like you may be a bit slightly short. Obviously, you have got the likes of Salah, who, turns up, makes a bold statement. You've got Nunes, Konate, who was really good today, Van Dijk. You have got some really good players in your team. You've got a new manager as well who's implementing his style of play and everything that he wants to bring into the club. But, credit to him. So far, you guys have only lost once to Nottingham Forest.
We'll edit that out.
Sorry. I feel like, it takes time as well for the manager to come in and embed what it is that he wants to do and really bring out the best in his players. So I guess give him a bit of time and see. But, fair play to what he's done and implemented so far.
You speak about new managers. Obviously, Arteta isn't a new manager, and a lot of fans have said, look, this is a season where he's got to deliver. However, it looks like it's going to be a 3-horse title race. if he doesn't win the league, without adding context, do you think fans will start to maybe turn on him and start asking questions and say, we might need someone else take us over the line?
I guess naturally as football fans, you know, we want to win things. That is what our desire is. That is what we set out to achieve. And it's frustrating and heartbreaking when we don't manage to win anything. I personally feel like it'd be very, very harsh to say, okay, Arteta, you haven't won anything, so now you're out the door. And I think especially with the injuries that we're faced with, you know, Arteta tries his best. You know, you have to give him credit for everything that he does, the way he deals with situations. You know, today's game, for example, I feel like we were the underdogs coming into this game for the fact that, you know, all of the injuries that we're faced with, Saliba having that red card, I feel like, okay, well, no one's expecting Arsenal to win today's game. Even in Arteta's press conference, when he mentioned about, oh yeah, we're going to go out there flying, I'm sure a lot of people were laughing, thinking, is he being serious? But actually, he backed his words, because we went out there and we definitely were flying for sure. So I feel like we need to give Arteta credit for the work that he's done since he's come into the club. You know, the players that he's moved on, the new additions that he's brought in, the best that he's got out of the players, the limited resources that he's had and had to deal with, the constant challenges that he faces, you know, with injuries, with, you know, the period of time when we kept losing games and, you know, he was getting it left, right and centre from pundits, from fans, you know, and he had to deal with that. Yeah. And he's come out the other side shining. I feel like he's implemented a lot of great achievements into Arsenal Football Club, and he wants to win trophies. He's making that very evident every season where challenging for the title. So you have to give him credit for what he's done. And I feel like, you know, I 100% want to win something this season. But if we don't, I love our manager. I'll back our manager. I'm thankful for everything that he's done, the positive energy that he's brought into the club. I feel like he's a very, very smart man, very intelligent. I love his articulate ways that he does everything. And, you know, he just keeps getting better with time. So, you know, give him a matter of time, but he will definitely win us stuff. And he has won us a trophy already, FA Cup. Yes. But yeah, we want more and we will get more. We just got to be patient and we just got to stick with our manager. Because who out there is better than Arteta that we're going to get in right now? You know, Arteta's the man.
We'll see. Well, Charlene, always a pleasure. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say best luck for the rest of the season because I want us to win it. But may the best team win, I'll say.
Yes, for sure.
Thank you
so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Let's go.